bacon and egg pie might just be one of the nicest simple pies I've ever made. It's golden, flaky, filled with bacon and eggs, and honestly, it's very hard to stop at one slice. When I was recently visiting my daughter in New Zealand, I asked her what a typical Kiwi dish was, and she said, "Oh Mum, you must make bacon and egg pie." Not only is it delicious, but it's super easy to make and it tastes good cold. However, I do prefer eating it warm. And thank you to my darling daughter for sharing her recipe. Now this recipe easily scales up or scales down. Today I'm going to use this glass quiche dish, but I have made one in here before, and you know, if you scale it up, like this is bigger, just put in a few more eggs, a bit more bacon, a bit more onion, a bit more ingredients. To cook the pastry better, it's best to preheat your oven and put a tray in the oven so this can go on the tray, and this will help cook the puff pastry on the bottom. So I've got the oven preheating to 200 degrees conventional, which is 180 degrees Celsius with a fan. Now for that size dish I'm using today, I have 5 rashers of bacon, and that weighs about 250 grams. And I'm just going to remove the rind, and I'm going to chop it into sort of biggish pieces. Something like that. Now you can go ahead and make your own flaky puff pastry, but I don't bother. I mean, this is so delicious just with the store-bought pastry, and also I'm gluten-free. And this is the one I've been buying gluten-free, and I quite like it. If you buy those bigger sheets, they'll almost fit one of these pies. Just try and buy the best quality puff pastry you can or you can afford. Now I'm just going to roll it out a little bit so I can cover the bottom of my pie dish. And because these puff pastry sheets are small, I'm going to have to join them together. You wouldn't probably have to do this so much with the regular pastry. And once it's enough to cover the dish, I just press it in. I'll trim off any excess here and then join them up here. Now my daughter says if I've got any tomato relish, a few dollops on the bottom is delicious. However, lo and behold, I'm out of tomato relish. Now before I go ahead and start filling it, I'll just show you what I'm doing here. On the top, I like to brush an egg wash, and I find that gives the best chance of the pastry going golden. And I just put 1 egg and about a tablespoon of milk, and I just whisk that together. And why I'm showing you this now is any leftovers I'll put in the pie, so I won't need all of this to brush the pie, so I'll put half of that in the pie as well so it doesn't go to waste. Now what I think tastes so delicious in this pie is some tomato, and I've got 2 medium-sized ones here. And I'm not a fan of bacon and eggs and tomato sauce, but I just love the tomato in this pie. And all I'm going to do is dice it, quite big, maybe 1.5 tomatoes are enough. I'll see how I go. I mightn't need them all. I'm a bit heavy-handed. Time to put it all together. So first of all, I put the bacon on the bottom of the pie. If you have tomato relish, a few dollops of that on the bottom would be delicious. And now I've got a medium chopped onion here, and I'm going to put that on top of the bacon. I also love the onion in this, and it's sort of like finely chopped. Now I've got whole eggs. And for this one, I'm going to put about, 6 eggs in here. Just lost half of one. And all I do is get a knife and just break the yolks, so the yolks will run all throughout the pie. Now I'm just going to pour half of my egg wash over, just so not to waste it. And I'll reserve the rest to brush over the top of the pie. A little bit of salt. The bacon's quite salty, so it won't go too hard. Some black pepper. And now the tomatoes. Just a little bit more pepper over those tomatoes. and perhaps just a little bit more salt. And my little addition, I love it, is a bit of roughly chopped parsley, just for a bit of freshness. It's probably way too much. Now I'll just roll the top for the pastry. I made these lovely old-fashioned Indian curry puffs the other day using gluten-free puff pastry. They're delicious. I'll have to make a video of them soon. Puff pastry is one of the best inventions. You know, seriously, it almost makes anything taste good. Before I put the pastry on top, I just brush around the bottom pastry with a bit of the egg wash. Pop it on top. Trim off any excess, and sometimes scissors works great for this. And seal them both together. Any way you like. You can use a fork. I just do it rustically by pushing the pastry together in my two thumbs, and it helps if your thumbs have got a little bit of flour on them. I think kids would love this as well. And if you like, with any leftover pastry, you can make a little bit of decoration, a couple of leaves. Just use a bit of the egg wash to put them on. And egg wash the whole top of the pastry, just a light coating. And this helps it get nice and glossy and brown. Sometimes I get so excited about eating things, and this is one of them. I really enjoy it, and I suppose it's such a treat because it's gluten-free for me. But how easy is that? And you know what? You don't like onion, don't put it in. You don't like parsley, don't put it in. You don't like tomato, don't put it in. Now, most important, just a couple of slits to let the steam come out, maybe 3. And now that goes in the oven for around 30 to 35 minutes. So that's actually had about 35 minutes, but the top is lovely and golden brown and glossy. Now it is very, very hot. I'm just going to leave it rest for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to slice a nice big bit for lunch. Time to cut a slice. Yum. Look at the underneath. Very fresh. It does set up more if you leave it for a few more minutes. And it's very hot, mainly because of those tomatoes. Now this is a couple of days later, and I'm just going to reheat it. But a lot of people do enjoy a bacon and egg pie cold. Now you can pop it in your microwave or pop it in your oven. But what I like to do is pop it in an air fryer. Now I just recently bought an air fryer. I bought it because I use this one at work, and it was half price, this model, and I just love it. And one of the main reasons I love it is the reheat function is wonderful. So great for anything like this. And I just press reheat. And what I love about this air fryer, it's another little mini oven, and it does beautiful roast potatoes, and it was only like $200 or less than. And 20 minutes later, perfectly heated bacon and egg pie. And you know, it reheats lovely in the air fryer or the oven. I hope you enjoy this if you try it. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. I'm just going to go and enjoy the rest of this.